notes, man. I got notes from this one. This is crazy, cray world. All right, just rolling. I watched Abby Martin, Joe Rogan, the last interview from 5 days ago. Oh my goodness. Whew. There was just so much to it. I had to take notes, people. I had to take notes. I had to take notes. They were dropping truth bombs all over the place. I had to take notes. I got to take you through my notes. I know most people aren't going to watch 2 hours of discussion. Discussion and not annihilating us. So I have to watch it. And I took notes. And I want to take you through my notes. We are literally facing annihilation. Annihilation, people. Annihilation. Can we get focused? Can we focus? Can we focus on the annihilation of the human species and most of the ecosystems on the planet? Let us focus on that. So it was a great interview. I'm off running my mouth, but I'll let people come in. But yeah, the Abby Martin, Joe Rogan, and I know as soon as I say that, people are gonna say, he's a Mason, he's left-leaning, or she's left. Yeah, all right, listen, true is true. I don't really care what the source is. I don't care. People, we are facing annihilation. This is the, what's the buffalo? The buffalo didn't see it coming. Damn it, we see it coming. We might want to do something about that. We might want to pull the big panties up on this one. That's all I'm saying. Pull the big panties up. So I want to take you through. And it was just too much. There was so much content in that live stream, in that interview, that I'm not even sure I can show it all. I just want to kind of just hit some of it. I had to take notes. When intelligent people talking, and I think Abby's like young. Is she in her 30s or something? I'm in my 40s. Sometimes you got to take notes when smart people are speaking. All right, good morning, everybody. Let me try to get the comments together here, and we're going to get going. Oh, man, it was so good. They just went through so many truth bombs. It was insane. Insane. And you better not ask me to censor people. Don't ask me that. There's some stuff happened this weekend. Please don't do that. Don't ask me to censor anybody. Don't do that, people. That's not how this works. It is not how this works. This is the adult club. We're not making a social club. We are literally facing annihilation. All hands on deck, people. All hands on deck. We're not silencing. I'm not Facebook. Don't ask me to censor anybody. When people say things that you don't like, block them. That's what you should do. I don't block people. That's a lie. I do block people. But I only block people who are trying to stop the discussion. That's it. I don't block anybody else. All commentaries allowed. If you don't like somebody's speech, you got to go to Facebook. I'm not Facebook, and I'm never going to play Facebook. I want to know what everybody thinks. I'm tired of being stupid. Is that Bo5? Yo, Bo5, good morning, brother. He had a great stream last night. I don't know why y'all don't watch. Y'all need to watch Bo5. Bo5 Savant. Please follow his live stream. That brother's dropping truth bombs. He did a live stream. I was late last night. I was trying to get my sleep way past my bedtime. I have to go to sleep, y'all. I got to get my sleep. And Bo5 was on at 11 o'clock. So, oh man, I got to tune in. It's just some people, they understand. They got some concepts down, and that's a brother. He understands sovereignty. He understands respect. He had did a live stream on respect and just kind of walked you through what respect is and respecting everybody's experience and their sovereignty. Brother was dropping truth bombs. I think the comments are ready to go. I'm not. Hang on. The comments. All right, that works. I'm not ready. I was running my mouth. But respect everybody. Everybody's experience is valid. And I have to say that I am disappointed in myself. I am. I know some other people disappointed in me that I don't block angry people. I don't block angry people. You don't want to interface with angry people. Please don't feed them. They're literally trolling you. We're all designed to troll each other. Why? Because we don't like what you say, so we're going to troll it. And some people take it to the personal level. I don't. When I see it go to the personal level, I know that you don't have a response, and so I go away. I don't read anything else. You're right. Yeah, I'd like to talk like adults, but I get that some people have had some really horrible experiences on this psychological jacked up society where more people are committing suicide all the time in America and around the world. Those statistics, suicide is going down around the world and it's going up in America. And the reason why is because we got problems, we got a lot of people in pain and we need to fix it. Why? Because the rest of the world is trying to model their societies like us, and we're trying to force them to be like us. And we need to stop it, people. Stop it. Look, just gotta pull them up. Gotta pull them up. But if you can't pull them up, I get that. I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with that. But don't stifle the conversation. That's the only thing that gets me. Do not stifle the conversation. Do not ask me to be Facebook. I will not be censoring anybody, ever. Hope you like that. I'm sorry if you don't. I'm trying to be true to it. That's all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. All right. We got that comment. Let me get YouTube going. So what I was watching this morning, oh my goodness, I was watching a 2-hour interview on Abby Martin on Joe Rogan. Ooh. Truth bombs everywhere. I got a notepad. I want to take you through some of my notes. Y'all want to watch some of it, some of the bits and pieces, because they're still political. Well, they're not political. Is Abby? I don't know. I think the way, all right, I don't want to say it, because if I say it, then people are like, oh, I don't like that. That's not my leader. I don't, she actually highlighted that somebody was probably the best candidate of the worst of the world, the worst of the planet, Annihilation. And I disagreed with that. I don't agree with everybody. I think YouTube works. I'm not sure. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Everybody feeling good? How's everybody doing? Y'all doing good? Y'all annihilated? Y'all focus on the annihilation? Anybody want to pile the kids up like this? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. We can go back to grade school. Raise your hand. You want to pile the next generation up like this, or you want to actually try to fix something? All right. Where's YouTube? YouTube. Oh, YouTube. Is YouTube even going? Let me see. I thought it was going. Hold on. Wait. I don't see Brother Custon over there. Let me go over to here and see YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's going. Yeah, people are over there. All right, they go. Boom. YouTube. All right, there. I got my comment there. I got my comments there. I don't see comments on the screen because y'all ain't saying nothing yet. That's the problem. That's why it's not up here. Somebody on YouTube say, "Yo, what's up?" Somebody on YouTube give somebody a shout out or something like, "Hey, mama, I'm on the Gerard show." All right. Good morning. Keanu, good morning. Truth bombs. Yes, truth bombs. We need to know the truth. Sometimes, Keanu, the truth is ugly, isn't it? Sometimes the truth is ugly. We don't want to see it. We don't, because we're indoctrinated. We got to know all the truth, and we won't know all the truth when we censor people. So I don't censor anybody. When people say things you don't like, block them. But that's not me. The way my mind works, I can handle it. Let me put it this way. I can handle what most people say. Well, almost everybody. And nobody said anything I couldn't handle yet in terms of having an adult conversation with them. So I got some MMT people, they come in kind of aggressive and hard. I get trolled by my folks who want the revolution kind of hard. I get trolled by, who else has been over here yelling and screaming? Christians that don't read the Bibles. I get trolled because when you're saying truthful things, you're not making friends. You're pissing a lot of people off. And who else came over here and trolled back in the days? So you had the left is trolled, the right's trolled, but I don't think they come around much anymore. I don't know. I don't know, either people are converting or they just don't come around because they know that we're not buying it. Too many people know truthful things, and you don't want to look like a fool if you're a troll. And that's how you deal with someone who's trolling you. You know the facts and you post the facts so you don't look like a troll. That's simple. All right. Everybody good? Everybody good? Ivana, it's hot as hell there? It's hot as hell here too. That's why I'm kind of late. I was sweating. I had to put on my deodorant. Where's my deodorant? I put on my, y'all see my deodorant? It's my deodorant right here. It's hot. I was watering plants while this thing was loading. It's a lemons deodorant. Yes. No paraffins in it. No, what's the thing? No aluminum. No aluminum in it. Don't use deodorant. Use natural deodorant. We need strong people. We're being annihilated. All right, so I'm gonna get through it real quick because this is not gonna be fair. There was just so many truth bombs in that Rogan talk. I had to make notes. It's my new notepad. I'm gonna try to get more professional, like Sister Patricia. And by the way, Sister Patricia, welcome back to Facebook. Welcome. I just got out of jail for the 20th time. I know it's not funny, but Sister Patricia, she don't play. She don't play. She'll tell you exactly how it is. And these social media, they're designed that when you offend people, people start reporting you. They'll put you in jail. It's just, I don't know how many thug parties we didn't have Patricia Negron. Y'all don't follow her, you should. Trisha Dishes, I think. Well, she used to be on Twitter, and they deleted her. They couldn't mess around. She was not there to play. She spoke from her mouth and her heart, her passion, and they don't like that. So anyway, okay. Please don't bring politics to an annihilation fight, right? It's like the Buffaloes bringing, I don't know, hooves to a gunfight. Don't bring politics to an annihilation. We are being annihilated all over this planet, and your political parties are actually the damn problem, and your nations are actually the damn problem. The fact that we can't respect each other's sovereignty and respect. And this is where I fail, and I got to do a better job, and I don't know how to do a better job. Because apparently, some people aren't getting it. Some people aren't getting it. So anyway, all right, let me do this. Post a link. I always post a link, Ivana. I thought I shared it on my page. Hold on. Wait. In case you want to follow along, because I'm only going to play a few seconds here and there, I will post the link in the room right now, because I don't have a life. And here we go, right here. I got it right here. And don't put no exclamation point, girl. You know people get upset with that. Outrage, folks. I really don't. I don't get out. I don't do outrage. I don't do outrage. Not when we're facing annihilation and like my kids are gonna be piled up in the bones. Nah, I'm not interested in outrage. All right, so let's do this. People sending me messages. All right, focus. Oh, it was deep. So it was deep. So where'd they start off? I got horrible handwriting. I know. I'm trying, y'all. This is why I don't take notes, because I fail handwriting. Right. So Abby started. Let me put them behind me before I do this. Let me put them behind me so people know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Annihilation, but I want them to see that we are referring to the Joe Rogan podcast. And they started off talking about the CIA. So we know that the CIA had an international assassination program going back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and it never stopped. So we know that's the case. We know all the Freedom of Information Act requests come out. So we know they were murdering people internationally like hotcakes for political gain. And Abby came with a powerful point. Do you really think that they didn't have that campaign going in the United States? Of course they did. Of course they did. And a lot of people don't know about the whole Martin Luther King thing, right? You know, how he was set up. He was set up. They didn't kill him for race. They killed him because he was ready to take on the system. He had too much support. He had a powerful voice, and he was going to call for a constitutional convention. He wanted to do to America what Chavez did to Venezuela. Give the resources to the people. This is what America was actually designed to be. Well, it's what they wanted it to be when they stole it from the Native Americans. Of course, the oligarchs saw that coming a long ways away. The kings saw that coming. The banks saw that coming. They railroaded that to make sure that it would not be anything where you own your land and poor people own resources. And this is why we want to destroy Venezuela now. There's no operation to die. We've killed over 40,000 Venezuelans just since 2017 with sanctions, right? And the way my mind works with that is it had to do with sanctions are just murder. They're war. They're murder. You killed 40,000 poor people. 40,000 poor people. And you're a Trump person. Don't get upset with me because I spread the hate. Let's spread that. When you see hate, spread the hate around, right? It's a tag team. Obama, Trump, Bush, back to the time Chavez died. They've been trying to, Venezuela's greatest crime is they actually gave the resources to the people. Venezuela's greatest crime is like Iran. They actually got their freedom when nations were actually standing up and taking their nations back from central banking. They got their freedom. And that's why we need to destroy them. That's why they'll take the we out. This is the Pentagon. This is central banking, and they own the Pentagon. They own the federal government. They need to take it back. But the other unknown fact about Martin Luther King is when he got to the hospital, he was alive. He was alive. You know that, right? After the high up black folk in the civil rights movement and the high up white folks in the CIA, and they worked with some people in the Klan, decided they wanted to murder this man. And this was all FBI released documents. Go out to FBI.gov and look it up. Somebody post the name of the lawyer that the King family hired who defended James Earl Ray because he didn't do it. He revealed that the nurses were told to stand down and sanction Martin Luther King in the hospital and not treat him in his deathbed so he would die. Okay? They sanctioned him. That's a sanction. When you withhold something from someone and you let them die, to me, that's murder. Somebody comes to your door and they're bleeding, they need help, you don't call the ambulance, to me, that's murder. If somebody needs insulin, they're dying, insulin is right freaking there, you don't give them to them, that's murder. If you know the Venezuelan people need the food and the medicine, they got a society that's built up on that, and you pull it back all of a sudden, that's murder. Their whole society's based in poor people having that. That's why 40,000 people died. But I will say I'm not for international trade though, right? Like I'm not for this globalism stuff. I'm not for that. If poor people in your nation don't have the things that they need, you shouldn't be trading other things to other nations. The sanctions are different, right? So I think you need to pull those things back and help those countries manufacture and make whatever medicine and food and whatever they need for their people, but you pull it back in a way where you're not murdering people. When you pull it back, all of a sudden, you're killing them. You convince people that we're going to continue this thing. They become dependent upon it, and then you don't help them when they need you. That's murder. That's war. Yes, Brother Adam, that's war. Sanctions are war. That's exactly what they are. All right. So anyway, they kind of started off there with the CIA assassination programs, right? You know, so Martin Luther King, CIA, your government killed him. JFK, 9/11, unfortunately, was an inside job. I don't care what anybody says. You need to do your research. They jumped over to reparations. They jumped over to reparations at 650. So 650 in it. And I thought it was interesting. And they didn't change my mind. They didn't change my mind. I still am not interested in asking slave owners and killers for candy. I'm still not into it, but I'm always open to debate. So let me just shoot over there and let them make their argument. But once again, I don't censor people who disagree with me. I have an issue with people who stifle conversations, not people who disagree.
Conversation, because it's not just a conversation about whether or not something wrong was done, but it's also a racial conversation. Mm-hmm. Like I've seen some weird posts, like, you know, Chuck Woolery, the guy who's from the Love Connection. We'll be right back in 2 and 2. Remember that guy?
Yeah,
Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Well, that guy has turned into this like serious, hardcore right-wing pundit. And I think it was him that was tweeting about reparations for Union soldiers for their families that died.
So he was saying we
fighting
need
in the
more?
Civil War. Like it was like, how about these people? And then like not saying, how about the fucking people who's like brought over here from Africa in chains and their great grandchildren are alive today in the same communities?
Well, it's the basis of our capitalist society. I mean, that's why we're the richest country in the world, because it was predicated on the enslavement of Africans.
Yeah, I don't know if you can fix it by giving people money today, but I do think the money should be spent to try to fix those communities. And I think that can be engineered and done. And I don't hear anybody talking about it other than Tulsi Gabbard talks about it. And I think Bernie Sanders has made some indications that something should be done, although I don't know if anybody has like a real definitive plan. But when you talk to people that have like Michael Wood, who was a Baltimore police officer, I've told the story before, but it's a crazy story. When he was a cop in Baltimore, they found these papers that showed that it was papers from the 1970s, the exact same crimes in the exact same areas, in the exact same problem areas they were dealing with in the 70s, they were dealing with in the 2000s. And he was like, what the fuck? Like,
wow.
Just imagine that feeling. Like, here you are, you're a police officer, right? You're putting your life on the line, literally. And you're out there dealing with the same problems that existed in the same exact areas. And no one's ever done anything to fix it. All
we don't ever get to the root.
Just arresting people.
Yeah.
All
right, I gotta stop there. I'm itching. So I like itching. So first of all, no, my position on reparations has not changed, but I'm evolving it. I still don't want any damn thing from your slave masters, killers, murderers, rapists, and genocide. They still need to go away. Their system needs to collapse. Entire central banking, nonsense. But the good point here that we need to evolve and think about is, all right, think about the Civil War. Think about the American Revolution. Did we take care of the soldiers after that? Absolutely. Think about the Japanese and the Chinese during World War II. You know, you take care of people when you destroy things. But the problem is we destroyed a lot of people we don't talk about. So it wasn't just the slaves from Africa, but then you got Irish and you got the Chinese and everybody. So my position really hasn't changed. I'm not interested in going knocking on master's door. I have no interest in it. Democrats. I ain't doing that. And I don't believe in the Republicans and don't help nobody either. Not the troops, not the slaves. I don't believe none of that. We can take care of our people. By our people, I mean 7 billion people. We can take care of everybody. We got the automation robots to do it. And that's the one thing your politicians will never talk about. They can feed everybody. They don't want to. They play these games, right? They play these games on your emotion. They pretend like they're going to help. They don't help. See? And then we're talking about the police in the same locations in Baltimore that's always had the same problems, still got the same damn problems. Same thing with Chicago, Detroit, DC, trailer parks, everything. They don't change anything. They don't fix anything. They just get you to convince you to. This is what I'm saying. We're dealing with annihilation. We're not talking about politics. Don't bring politics to an annihilation of a damn ecosystem of a complete planet, right? So they don't ever do anything. They just talk. That's why I don't do politics. That's why I'm not voting. I have no interest in any of your killers, your murderers, or your rapists, because they never stopped slavery. They never stopped. All they did was made it all inclusive, and now they enslaved the entire world, people on every continent. And we help them because we buy all this consumer crap. So, and let me just be clear on that. My position on reparations has not changed. I will not be going with anybody knocking on Master's door asking for some candy. Master need to go back to hell from whence he came. So that was deep. They were going through that. Oh, and the other thing he was talking about policing. Oh, and we were on a great discussion with who was it? Anthony and Brother John, M. John. We were talking about police, and so we were talking about, so what do we do about the police? Well, I forgot who started the conversation. It was a great comment about policing. I don't know if it was Susan or somebody was in the back of my head who started that conversation. Something about policies, right? The police are just enforcing the policies, so we need to go after the policy makers. Who's making the policy? Your bumper stickers, the people you got pins for, your votes, your 2020s, the people who don't ever do anything, ever, for anybody in America. They always sell out to corporations after you elect them. I think the brother was asking something about, well, what do we do? Replace the police? And my stance is get rid of them. Get rid of them. Do we need police? Do you need police? Step one, right? So if you know who's making the policies, is that RT pop up? If you know who's making the policies that are sending armed men to poor neighborhoods and poor people end up getting shot, go after the people who make the policies. Change the policies, right? If people believe in the laws, do they break them? No. And is the government supposed to work for the people? Yes. So the government is writing laws that people don't want to follow, then those laws should not exist. So very simple. You got a problem with police, you got a problem with the people writing the policies. Get rid of them. Fix them. Get rid of the laws that people break, because obviously the people don't want them. And then the police go away. But I don't think the police go away right away. I think in a civilized society, you don't have policing. You do have public servants, and do public servants need guns? No, they don't. And so when people, and this is why I go back to the Zeitgeist movement, Venus Project, Ubuntu, gift-based, resource-based society. When people have abundance, they got house, they got food, they got water, robots are providing all of it, the same way they are for the big corporations right now. When people have those things, do they break laws? When people are living their life, and when you don't take away respect for their sovereignty and their free will, do they break laws? No, one, the laws don't exist, and two, everybody's happy. Why in the world would you have psychopaths run around shooting, killing, murdering, robbing people if they got everything that they need? That's the world we're in. This is why I'm saying we need a paradigm shift. And that's why I disagree with Abby and Joe. And I think to a degree, you're not allowed to say just real root level fixing problems. You know, they're still on this, we need to fix the communities that are having problems, that are people who are descendants from slavery. No, you need to fix the entire damn world. All right, let's stop playing. Let's not pretend like we don't have the resources to do that. So that was one that we're on. Reparations, let me see. I should let him keep talking. No. It's a whole lot to cover, so I'm trying to go as fast as I can. They were talking about this push there's a chant. The first that was talking about not voting for white men. Yeah, it said don't vote for straight white men. Whoever started this narrative, throw it away. You're racist. People don't follow that person. Whoever's saying that, just saying don't vote for white men that are straight. That's crazy. That's what is that? That sexual preference-ist, and that's racist. That's stupid. Throw that away. The problem isn't a person's skin or if they're straight. The problem is we have a psychopathic banking system that runs all the parties. Has nothing to do with the white dude. The white dude was found at the scene of the crime, but he didn't do it. Okay? He is an employee and a side effect of the system. It's like sugar and fat. Back when they said fat causes cardiovascular disease, it does not. Sugar does. Fat was found at the scene of the crime, so they blame the cholesterol. That's not the problem. The problem is the sugar. Stop eating sugar, you won't die. Stop doing central banking. Stop with this money nonsense, and you don't die. It actually is that simple. Then there are chants at a Kamala rally, I think it was, they talked about. And I guess the chant was vote for Kamala, we need a woman president. Stop. That's stupid. That's still racist, genderist, dumb. Throw it out. We don't need a vagina on a war criminal. All right, we don't need that. We've seen a lot of penises on war criminals. We don't need any more. The problem is the war criminal, not the penis. The problem is the war criminal. The problem is kids are hiding in trash cans in Gaza while people with assault rifles are shooting them. And the government supports that, all parties, and Britain and everybody else too, all the Rothschild banking. That's the problem, not the problem of the vaginas making the calls of the penis. Focus, people, that's dumb. Another thing we're talking about, arresting parents if they don't send their kids to school. And this was something, correct me if I'm wrong, this is something that said Kamala did? Is she from California? She's from California, and she wrote a law or behind a law to arrest parents who don't send or whose kids don't show up at school? Something crazy like that? What the hell? And y'all, why do y'all want me to cheer for these people? Going after a parent because a child under the age of 26, which ain't even a human yet, doesn't have a frontal lobe yet, decides it doesn't want to go to slavery indoctrination for the day. To me, that's not a problem. That's damn phenomenal, fantastic-tistic. That's a child that wants freedom. That's a child that, you know what, I'm just too advanced for sitting in slavery, forced indoctrination. I need to go do something with my life. And that child decided they need to skip school. Look at the history where these criminals come from. This is crazy to me. I don't know why anybody's supporting these people. It's just insanity. It's pure insanity. Besides the fact, isn't the people on the Kamala side that's supposed to be against the police state? Aren't y'all the ones supposed to be saying Black Lives Matter? Aren't y'all the ones supposed to be saying that? And you voting for somebody who wants to send people with guns to your house because your child don't show up at school. Think of it. Look at the big picture. Big picture, people. That's what I'm saying. Big picture. And at 15:30 in the broadcast, they went to Trump is a... let's go there, because y'all like Trump stuff. Let's go to Trump stuff. 15:30, they were talking about Trump. Let's shoot ahead. Because I don't like sitting here and run my mouth. Actually, I do. I do. I'll be honest. I love running my mouth. I love to stir the Kool-Aid a little bit. Not too much. You stir the Kool-Aid too much, then the sugar mixed with everything. You gotta stir the Kool-Aid a little bit. Get people talking. That's how you learn from people. Get them talking. I like to get people talking. I'm not going to lie about that. Get people talking, then you can learn things. I talk to people all damn day.
It is cards. Obama would hide his cards. But Trump, hate him or love him, he gives you glimpses that you're not going to get as far as like what kind of influence does the military-industrial complex really have on policy change and decision-making and whether or not they take action. And he was openly discussing it.
He removes the mask, Yeah. It's interesting because I think that he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, because on one hand he says that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hang on. Before Abby goes and eviscerates, it's funny. I like to look and read between the lines and who people are. So I think Joe he's right, and I think left-leaning, but he has a lot of Trump supporters that watch him. And Abby's heavy further to the left-leaning, so she's got to kind of eviscerate the comment that he made in a nice way because they're friends and everything. And I like the psychology of stuff, but I got to camp on I got to say it. I got to say it. I was right. I'm trying to... Trump removes the mask and he lets you see how your system works. That is based in annihilation, and these people don't care. The people behind the politicians in both parties don't give two damns. And we need that mask to go. And it's not cheering Trump, it's cheering, we need somebody that doesn't care about the things that they care about. We need somebody that's not putting cologne on dead bodies, right? We need somebody who actually, and it's not Trump. I know you thought you were saying Trump. No, it's not, no. But we need someone who isn't skilled as a lawyer. I take all that back. Nah, never mind. We don't need nobody, yo. We don't. Honestly, anarchy. I am an anarchist now. I think I might have my card. I'm not sure. I just don't believe in control models anymore. I think none of that works. I think it's never worked. I think government's a failed model. Kings and lords and feudalism, socialism, communism, capitalism, everything. Anytime you take the collective resources of human beings and you put them in a single small group's hands, you always have problems. And I think that needs to go away. It's like most people's day. What do you do in your day? I can tell you what I do in my day. My day, while you be like, oh, you're on Facebook all day. No, actually, I'm not. Shoot, I was putting, I was putting stuff in the aquaponics system this morning. I wake up, I watch the news after I decide what's happening with my day and my life and how my brain works and what I'm interested in. And what I was interested in this morning is seeing if I can sage or grow in the aquaponic system, seeing how well cilantro grows in it. I have different types of lettuce that I haven't grown in the summertime in 90-degree heat because people say that you can't do that, and I've been doing it for years. So I'm trying multiple types of lettuce. But here's the point I'm making. I drive my day. I don't let the news drive my day. I don't let politicians drive my day. I don't let billionaires. What's most important to me is what my neighbors are doing. What's most important to me is what my family's doing. What's happening around me. That's my sphere of where I'm influenced. The only reason I even come online is because I want to know what people are saying far away that's not in the news. That's the only reason I come online. Because I think it's always a lie when it comes from a distance and it's funneled through their governments or big corporations or their media. So drive your own day. Your sphere of influence might just be your little neighborhood or your community. I believe in communities. I don't believe in regions, states, governments, nations, global control. We don't need that anymore. We don't need, oh, you know what? I'm just running my mouth. I'm supposed to be doing the notes. Y'all see the notes? I got the notes. I'm supposed to. But the point I'm making is we let outrage and emotions drive us. And the only way you break intellectual people is you make them emotional. Then you can break them and they don't think as well. So I'm not saying we need Trump. I just like the fact that it does not seem he's from the club of the people who are trying to do the annihilation. And he doesn't seem to be like he's from the club of the people who did the slavery, the systems and models and parties and banking, that now you want me to go knock on the door and ask them for reparations. He doesn't seem to be. And something ain't making sense. But let Abby make her point.
But then on the other hand, I mean, he hired all the most rabid war generals in his cabinet, and also just John Bolton. I mean, come on, this is like a maniacal neoconservative who's been vying for war with Iran since the day he was born. So it's like, if you don't want war with Iran, I mean, he campaigned on it, so we know that he hates Iran. He campaigned on abolishing the nuclear deal with Iran, but then he picks John Bolton to lead all of these efforts. I mean, it's like starting a
hashtag fake news. I'm sorry. Hashtag fake news. I gotta jump in. there. And Abby, I am nobody to and he did too damn fine. This is why it's bad to be a man. It's horrible to be a man. This is male oppression, because women, they like to look pretty. When they look pretty, we don't want to disagree with them. But the reality simply is this. Trump didn't pick his cabinet. Go back to the WikiLeaks. Did Obama pick his cabinet? No. And if you don't know that, you need to listen to the people around here. These are the people that teach me. WikiLeaks released that Citigroup picked the entire Obama administration less 2 people, right? And I would bet you Monsanto picked one of them and Coca-Cola, Pepsi picked the other, all right? Presidents don't design their cabinets. The banks do. The people with the power do. So what are the odds that Obama didn't pick his cabinet, but Trump picked his? In my mind, Zero. Because presidents aren't actually in control. But I understand her perspective. She's got lighter skin and she's got to have the hate Trump narrative for the most part. Joe is part African. What is Joe like? He said he's more African, like he's like 1.2% African. He's more African than the lady who says that she's Indian, Native American. Is that Kamala or somebody else? So Joe doesn't have to be as anti-Trump for y'all to call him racist, but she's got to show that she's anti-Trump. But the reality is presidents don't control. They don't pick the cabinets. So that, to me, that argument is invalid. But the other thing, I want to move on because I hate the politics. I'm not interested in that. It's 1730 in their discussion. Iran. Right. Right. So they were talking about Iran and how it got its freedom. But they did get kind of deep. At, what was that, 1940? They got kind of deep. They were talking about Iran. You know what's going on with Iran, but they made a point right here. They made a point. Hopefully you know that Iran has nothing to do with America, right? Y'all do know that. Everyone is informed now, right, that Iran actually has nothing to do with America. That we're going to attack and destroy people for fossil fuels that we probably don't need. You know what I'm talking about? Just go ahead and look up the energy patents that the United States government is hiding. Just look that up and ask yourself, why are we going to destroy countries for oil that you think you need and your government's hiding 4,000, 5,000 energy-related patents that they won't let the public know, and all the engineers are trying to get them to release it? Focus on what really matters. All right, let's go up here.
Basically, threatening sanctions on China and India and other countries that actually do deals with Iran now too, which is totally insane. So once you do that, and then you say, well, you know, you're hitting yourself, why are you doing this? It's like, no, you're doing this to them. And on top of that, John Bolton keeps saying, you know, there's all these unique threats coming from Iran. We need to surround them with all these warships. And they keep sending thousands of more troops. So you're getting to a position now, and now the drone, right? We're flying a drone into Iranian airspace and expecting that they're not going to shoot that down. Why the fuck are we flying a drone in Iran? The fuck would we do if Iran flew a drone in here?
Right.
Go to Wix.com and create your professional website.
That's some of that colorful metaphor stuff that I talk about. That's why I don't talk like that, but some people have to.
Unbelievable. The chauvinism and arrogance of the U.S. to be doing all this shit and then be like, okay, now you guys are a belligerent threat. We have to do something. It's like, no, you guys are the ones encircling them, enclosing all of their, you know, basically just encapsulating their entire territory and threatening them over and over and over again, basically hoping for something to happen. And if you look back at the Gulf of Tonkin, there was a guy who was actually on the USS Maddox, the ship that was eventually attacked and got us into the war with Vietnam. And he even said, my dad was on the ship and he said, we had no idea why we were there. And one of the generals or captains on the ship just said, they want us to be hit. They want us to be attacked so they can get into a war that they want to get into. And that's exactly what's going on. And what's sad is whoever's in the Navy circling Iran, they're going to be the ones who fucking die when Iran does launch back. They're sacrificing themselves for these generals and defense contractors' profits.
Stop! Did you not hear that? This is why I love this. This is what I'm saying. We're the anti-Rogan. He's a Mason. Where y'all at? This is what I'm saying. Ignore the source. When things are true, support them. Cheer them, subscribe to it, share it. Don't trust them. Don't give them intellectual credit. But when they say things that are true, just go with truth. And the only thing I'm going to say with that is every war we've been lied into. And especially the one I like to focus on is USS Liberty. Why? Because we sacrificed those sailors. We let them die. Washington, Lyndon Johnson, in pure cold-blooded murder, sanctioned the United States military from responding to defend their own. Why? Because they were sacrificed for a war. They were sacrificed to get us into a war because big corporations have money to make. Same thing that's happening in Iran right now. To me, that's a truth bomb that just, boom, should just blow your mind up. Why? Because if you're a patriot, you give a damn about anybody on a Navy ship surrounding Iran right now. How long do you think you're going to prod the bear before it bites? How long are you going to sit there and just keep prodding the bear? That's all they're doing with Iran. They're trying to prod the bear. Iran, I give so much respect to that people. Oh my goodness. How in the world do y'all have so much patience and love? It's because you read your scriptures, probably. Because you believe more your text than the people over here believe their text. You have that patience where they're just sitting back and they understand they're being goaded into a war. But a war with Iran ain't going to be a cakewalk. Why? Because your military doesn't belong to you. They're not going to send the soldiers with the best equipment. They're going to let a lot of them get killed because it looks good on TV. It gets you upset, makes you hate Iran, your cousins in Iran more, gets you to support and cheer war. But she lined it up, which is what they're doing, is they got the Navy all surrounding Iran. Why? Because they're sacrificing your soldiers. They're sacrificing your brothers, your sisters, and I'm sure they didn't even know what ship is going to get hit when Iran finally gets pissed off and responds to the aggressor at their doorstep, goading them into war, sanctioning them, trying to kill their people the same way Washington sanctioned the U.S. Liberty from the two fighter jets, the fighter jet squadrons that were going to encircle the USS Liberty and protect them. Why? Yeah, you're starting to notice that this is why I got the annihilation topic today. You see this pile of bones behind me, 30 feet high? We are being annihilated. The same people who want to murder Iranians want to murder you. The same people who are murdering Venezuelans want to murder you. The same people who enslaved your people want to enslave the next generation. These are all the same people. The same big bankers that fund the sides of every single war. This is why I'm saying it always goes back to root cause problems. Focus on the root cause. Stop arguing with the side effects. We are sacrificing our Navy. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going on a prediction. If history maintains itself, if that bear just really can't let America, the central banking, go into a war and attack a Navy ship, who do you think will? Who do you think will? We will. That's what'll happen. We will stage an attack. Well, I said, this we word. The central banks that own the Pentagon, the military-industrial complex, see, they got to sell weapons, people. They got to get loans. They got to work with the banks, all these big corporations all in bed. And the only way that happens is if war gets started so they can print bullets and print tanks and print AI killer robots to go kill Iranians, to train the software better so when they can take them, bring them back home and release them on you. Release them on your children, the same way they're doing with these tanks and MRAPs and all these other things they're taking from Iraq and giving back over here to DHS. We will. We will pretend it is them. How many CIA whistleblowers have already explained how that works? Who's the brother? Adam already posted about Confessions of an Economic Hitman. If you don't know what that is, you need to go look it up and you need to read it before you watch another debate of picking the next war criminal 2020.
Now, there's some reason to believe that Iran is not being honest about its nuclear program, right? I mean, that was one of the reasons why. What was the virus that the United States...
Stuxnet?
Stuxnet virus that they put on the Iranian nuclear program to kill it while they were in the middle of doing whatever they do to uranium.
Right, the centrifuges for the enriching uranium.
Yeah.
I mean, that was also crazy. Cyber attacks, right?
Right, but the cyber attacks, weren't they effective, though, in stopping the nuclear program? There was like a secret nuclear program that they were doing?
I don't know what exactly I don't think that there ever was a nuclear program, but I know that was another crazy thing that the U.S. did.
All right, I got too many notes, y'all. I got to speed through this. It's just too much. I'm literally on page 1. I got to go faster. You need to watch this. I'm just trying to give you the highlights, but you need to watch it. Let's go to 31. There was something in there I missed about media journalists. Right. Later on, between that and this stop, she talked about how media journalists, they're not lying to you, right? It's not a conspiracy theory. They're not getting together and saying, this lie to the American public. No, that's not what's happening. They're just making money. They're like you. Okay? They're like the military. They're just making money, and there's some things they can't say. As an example, let's say you are a software engineer for Coca-Cola. Okay? You're writing software for Coca-Cola. There's just some things you can't say, right? I used to work in the big pharmaceutical industry. There are just some things you're not going to say. Not because you're a liar and you're a fool, but because you need biscuits and bacon and you got to bring it home and you got kids that need to eat and you got mortgage that you got to pay and you got to make the car payment. Some things you just won't say for the job. And her point was that media is not necessarily lying to you. Some of them are lying. Some of them are like these nationalist bigots on the left and the right who are pro-war all the time, and they're lying to you because they don't give a damn. They're psychopaths. But most of them, they're just doing a job. And they do the story, they put it together, it goes to the editor, and what does the editor say? Yeah, did a report on Monsanto glyphosates and poisoning people. Yeah, we're gonna have to take out that Monsanto part, and we're gonna have to take out the Bayer part, and just remove anything that says glyphosate, and then you can publish it. And what are you gonna say? No, I'm gonna stick to my guns and let the truth come out. I'm going to not pay my mortgage, and I'm not going to pay. I don't want to feed my kids, and I'm going to give up my job. No. And so it was just, a lot of this stuff is very logical, right? These things come down to economics. They're not conspiracy theories. They built a society based in lies and destruction. They built a society on money that keeps everybody complicit with the plantation. Everybody picking cotton, processing cotton, selling cotton, getting no new sales for cotton, and we're on a plantation. And this is why I'm saying the system is what needs to change, not the butts in the chairs, the system. Somewhere around 31, he's talking about censoring. And right, I got to skip past that one because somewhere around 31, he's talking about censoring, and this is what how they're actually engineering society. They're engineering the left and they're engineering the right. And if you're listening to like one side's news, you are totally being socially engineered, and you're socially engineering your kids. Powerful points, powerful statements. Listen to it, but I got so much I had to go through, and I don't have all day to go through it. Let me see, at 32:30. We got to jump over here because I haven't talked about this. I don't know anything about it. If you have a link, please post it. These cities, Google and Toronto, putting a smart city
people don't want information gathered about them. Like they're doing it under the guise of here a utopian city.
Utopian city.
Yeah, I was reading about it yesterday, and I was like, no, like this is a terrible idea.
Google is so
like,
fucking terrifying.
What if these people don't want to be filmed? What if these people don't want information gathered about them? Like they're doing it under the guise of here it is. Alphabet's plan for Toronto depends on huge amounts of data.
Yeah, we need more data collection, data mining.
Their idea is that they're going to make it easier for people to get around and smoother.
But how? By like facial recognition? I love how they always say, oh, people are being sex trafficked and this will help. It's like, no, dude, this is like 0.0001% of all the people that you're, data mining.
It says Sidewalks Labs released more detailed plans for Toronto, the site of Google's sister company's first attempt to bring its techified digital forward sensibility to a full-scale development project. The Sidewalk Labs project dates to 2017 when the Canadian city welcomed the company to an undeveloped section of its waterfront. Now, after 18 months of speculation work, God damn these motherfuckers, they're pop-up. Speculation work and backlash from local advocates. The company has a 1,524-page master plan for the 12-acre lot called Quayside. First of all, I hate the fucking name.
What
Quayside.
is it, though?
What is Quayside? 4-volume plan highlights ambitious and sometimes flashy innovations from Sidewalk Labs, which has pledged to spend $1.3 billion on the project if it goes forward. The company hopes to construct all the buildings with timber, which it says is better for the environment. It also catches fire. And build an underground pneumatic tube system for garbage removal. It wants residents to lean on public transit, walking, and biking rather than personal vehicles. Good luck. It's fucking 0 degrees in Toronto, you assholes. And plans to build streets with autonomous vehicles, perhaps from its sister company, Waymo. Delivery robots. Do you know what Waymo is?
No.
No, I don't need. Delivery robots might trundle down its wide sidewalks. The strategic use of very large umbrella-like coverings might make outdoor spaces comfortable all year round. No small feet in Lakeshore, Canada.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Sidewalk wants to designate 20% of the apartments as affordable and another 20% as middle income. So they're engineering a city.
Yeah,
and
right.
This is by
But it says 20%. Right, let's go back. Wait, what was it? 20%. 20% was for affordable, and 20% was for low income. That's 40%. Yo, boy. So who's the other 60%? Who's the other 60%? If you're not in affordable and you're not in low income and your job is not in a book, who's the 60% that's going to live in these cities? Hashtag not you. Why? Because if your job is in a book, I've already written software to get rid of it. My people, software engineers. Why? Because we go after everybody's job. That's what we did. We weren't going after the blue collar jobs. We're coming after yours. You accountants, you lawyers, you investment bankers and Wall Street people. We were coming after yours. We've been writing jobs to get rid of y'all for probably 30 years now. Who's the 60%? Who's the 60%? These smart cities, that's funny to me. When I talk about automation, people think I'm talking about smart cities. They're like, no, I'm not. When I talk about Venus Project, they're like, oh yeah, the smart cities. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between having a corporation whose motto was don't be evil, and then they took that, they deleted it. They wiped that off their website, the documents, the mission statement. They don't be evil. They got rid of that. Then hell no, we can't do this no more. This ain't gonna work on the project. The cities are not for you. It's just like what they're doing in Estonia. You ever look up the cities in Estonia? Got a friend in Estonia. The city is not for them. It's not for poor people. It's not for people who aren't billionaires. These are big, massive cities that will go up like the one is. The other one in Dubai, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, they're not for you. Yeah, sure, they'll allow 40% of some poor folks to come in that make a couple million a year, and they'll just be there to repair the robots. That's all they'll be there for. These will be big, massive cities that are highly technologically advanced that your children will look at from a distance. There'll be a massive wall up around them, and you'll have 5G all around where you live, okay? These cities are not for you. These are palaces and castles. They're hashtag not for you, and they just told you right there. That's all the 60%. I was trying to figure out, where do I fit in? I guess I'm a software engineer. I probably could get in the city if I want to, but I don't want to be in the city. The city shouldn't exist, right? We need to use automation to develop a smart world. Why? Because people shouldn't have to work and labor for big corporations for food and to pay debt off from birth. That's stupid. That's why we need a model change. I found some indoctrination too. So I'm constantly trying to look in my life for where somebody programmed me so I can't be my original self. I can't find out who I am. And I found something this weekend. Oh Lord, did I find something. I was talking to somebody and she was explaining to me, just be careful, because we were talking about a rural area, buying baking goods on the side of the road for people baking goods. She said, well, be careful, because they put human breast milk in some of the baked goods. I live in that city. I was like, well, wait, what? They put what in the who? So they put human breast milk in their baking, in their cakes, and they sell them on the side of the road. I'm not gonna say that the type of people that they're talking about, because if I say that, then people get all discombobulated. I was like, they're putting human breast milk. I flipped out, y'all. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And I started like thinking about it. Somebody tell me, why in the hell am I upset about somebody putting human breast milk in a cake and some cookies and pies and not cattle breast milk? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Explain it to me why humans shouldn't put human breast milk in baking goods. Why is it nasty if a human does it? But if a 500-pound beast that lays down and poo in the mud and just lay them nipples down in the dirt and mud, I'm trying to give you a visualization. Why is it nasty when the human does it, and it's not nasty when a bovine does it? Indoctrination. It's programming. It's programming. I'm fighting it. Don't get me wrong, I'm fighting it. But it's a good example of how deeply we are programmed, how deeply we are broken as a people, that it would be disgusting to drink milk from a human woman in a baking good and not a cow or a goat. Insane. Insane. I know most women, I can tell y'all they watch them things. Cows, they don't watch nothing. Cows don't care. They go from the pasture laying their poo to going right in the lake where they poo, all right? And so, but it's indoctrination. And this is why we have to always look at what doesn't make sense. When something doesn't make sense, we gotta fix it. And I always go back to oligarchy. Why you got a big, massive milk industry and they've given us this picture that it's safer and better to drink milk from a cow and not a human. And I'm not gonna go on that any further. I'm not gonna touch that. Keep going. And this mushroom coffee, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. It's like, who the hell would drink mushroom coffee? What's wrong with y'all? But, you know, once again, but there was no industry like forcing that in me. I just think the idea of fungus coffee is pretty disgusting. But I'm working on this human milk thing. Like, it's different if it's your wife or your girlfriend. You're supposed to do that. That's just, it's natural, it's healthy, get sugars and carbohydrates. You're not supposed to have an adult. It's supposed to be for the kids. Make sure they get most of it. All right, I'm not going there anymore. All right, 3750 outside of the smart cities. 3750. I like this one. 3750. They hit another one. They hit another deep truth.
It's kind of crazy. Podcast that Sam Harris did with the guy who's explaining what Google has essentially done and what they've done with data. The data is essentially a commodity that we didn't know was a commodity, and we all gave up our rights to this commodity. And this commodity turns out is worth billions and billions of dollars, and no one had any idea. And they just took it, and now they have it. And they have it for, and what are they giving you for this?
Right.
They let you search things? Like, what are they giving you for this?
Because they can program you. Let me explain that. Used to work with analytical software. I won't bore you on it, but the bottom line is we can take billions of data points about a society and put them in databases that are terabytes large. If we actually can do searches and correlations and use learning software to link together the dots, then what we can do is actually understand who you are. We will know what you fear. We will know what you like. We will know when you turn on the oven. We will know what you cook. We will know when you're upset. We will know when the husband drives and stays late at work because he's cheating and his phone is with somebody else he's cheating with, and you come home and he comes home on Thursday, you're mad at him and you're angry. And if we show you something on Facebook that makes you even madder and angrier, you might get so upset that you might be like in that show Flipped and you might kill your husband. That's why, not to make you kill your husband. I'm like painting together a picture. This is the power of data, right? The software we used to use, I won't say the name of it, and get me sued. But the point is, it just crunches all this data and looks for anomalies, right? They know who you are. They know where you go. They know whose cell phone you're around. They know what you buy. And if they know all of this, they can drive you. They can program you. If they can program us to not like human milk, what do you think they can do if they know what your oven does? They know what air conditioner you like, what temperature you like to set it on. They know when you're moody because of this, that, and the other. Software can do that. We are so predictable, and if I didn't work in the industry, I wouldn't tell you this. You don't know how predictable we actually are. And so they use predictive analysis software for that. But this is what Joe was going to say. And this, a lot of y'all haven't seen this before, but that's the point of those smart cities. And this is why it's insane that corporations have a right to your data. You're not allowed as a human being on a biological planet in an ecosystem to have privacy. But corporations are allowed to have patents and total privacy, and you're not allowed to know anything and even work on classified projects with your ignorant government. It's the dumbest thing on the planet. We prioritize things that aren't even sentient. They don't even belong on the planet. To control the things that do. Now let him finish. Watch this.
To let you use their email, like it's kind of crazy. They search your email for certain keywords, and all of a sudden, you're looking for a patio chair. You're like, I'm looking to buy a patio chair, and all of a sudden your fucking Google mentions are filled with patio chairs because you sent an email to a friend.
Really creepy. Or just talk about something, and it
talk about it.
Yeah.
My guest yesterday, my friend Will Harris, he was talking about trading in his car, and he got a fucking text message that said, "Hey, I hear you're looking to trade in your car."
That is so scary.
Here's a link as to what you could get for it. And he goes, "I'm not clicking that fucking link."
And these are corporations. This isn't even government. Like, these are just corporations that are used car salesmen that are using it. I can't stop seeing this damn Chantix damn thing. You know why? I did a search. I did a quick search for vape. I didn't know what vaping was. If vaping is a thing now, everybody's vaping. Somebody said it was dangerous, so I wanted to look it up. I looked it up 3 weeks ago. I can't stop seeing this damn Chantix everywhere I go. I don't even know completely what it is, but I know it has to do with not smoking. And so they're constantly showing. But this is deep. You ever talk about something and you start seeing ads for it? Now people are talking about things and they're getting pop-ups and they're getting messages on their phone. That has to do with proximity and other software. You got your cell phone, GPS is on, they know where you are. If you're in a certain proximity, they can send you a message. This is highly dangerous. But the point is demonstrating is your phone is never off. Your phone is always listening to you. We talked about this months ago. Go into your Gmail or your Yahoo or whatever your free mail software you use is. And you'll go in and you'll look at the authorization within your phone. It'll tell you it has the right to turn your mic on or your camera on without your permission or notification. Why? Obviously now you know why. Because your microphone's always listening to you. Why? Data. They know when you come home. They know who you're talking to. They know why you're talking. If you lower your voice, when you lower your voice. They know all of it. They know what you're talking about. So much that they look for keywords to sell you ads. And what do you think the government's doing with that? What do you think that the learning software is doing, crunching all that data and the conversations you're having everywhere you go, what you talk about, who you talk to? Well, I'd explain one of them. Like we talked about, what can you do with predictive analysis and knowing people better than they know their damn self because they don't even know their own patterns? They can engineer riots. I won't do that one because I can speed through these little more. So 4250, they talked about engineering riots, how they use that data, or there was a company caught, or nation, whatever it was, engineering the riots, the social justice warrior riots. And so setting up a Black Lives Matter protest, and Black Lives Matter had nothing to do with it. They didn't even know what was happening. They said, we're gonna be here doing this. And across the street was some sort of church, or what do they call it, a prayer group or something, doing something. Engineering conflict. They know who you are. They know what you support. They know what you talk about. They know how angry you are. They can take all that data, crunch it, figure out the most angry, outrageous people who don't make any damn sense, that are immature in the nation, that are just fighting for social justice, happen to be in Orlando. And they say, okay, well, let's pick where there's going to be a pride, a American pride or nationalist celebration in Orlando, and get all those people together in that location. They talked about it. That's what you can. This is the power. This is what I'm talking about. We're talking about annihilation. And then what can you win with that? You can win Charlottesville. You can win a riot. Why? Because, I don't know, you have legislation you want to put in place. You bought your Democrats and your Republicans, you need some police state legislation. Conflict is big money. Day trading human beings is a commodity. And this is the world that we're going into. This is what I'm saying. Your election and debates, they don't talk nothing about none of this because they're paid not to. Or they're paid and they're like the journalists. They think they're helping, but they're not. All right, I gotta go faster. Yeah, it's around 51, they started picking politics and who they like and stuff like that. And, I guess to be defensive, I'll say, or to be open-minded. Abby likes Bernie Sanders. I don't know how she put it. She doesn't dislike him. We'll put it that way. I just don't believe in that. I also think that even as intellectual as most of us are, hopefully, there are a lot of things that we don't know and understand. I'm in the not voting crew. I'm in the these people are crazy and we need to end the entire system. I'm in the we don't need a Band-Aid, we need a whole new model camp. But that's why I say, if you believe that you're supposed to vote, for Bernie Sanders or Kamala or Trump or whatever, then that's what you're supposed to do. Part of what Beaufont talked about that we discussed is just sovereignty, right? We need to respect each other. We need to respect each other's decisions. I have every problem with people who want to keep things the same, but I'm still family with them. And they are who they are. And we shouldn't force other people to be like us. I'm not interested. I think they murdered too many people. So I won't go into that. Somewhere around 54, is that 54, 50? They were talking about UBI. let's go to UBI. Let's talk about UBI, because I guess they talked about in the election or the debates. Like I said, I'm not interested in watching the debates, but I am interested in hearing people's take on the lies that they gave from
There's
the
a way to
debates.
engineer a better way through it. I don't know if universal basic income works. I've talked to a lot of people that think like Naval, he was on my podcast recently, and his perspective is it doesn't give people meaning, and it's not a good idea. Because you need a life. If you want people to be happy, and you want to
Not from America, UBI is universal basic income. It's when you take money and you give it to people on a regular basis because they're people. Because they're family, and it's a good idea when people have basic income, when they have enough money for food, water, and a house, that your society is happier, more stable, because you don't have anyone living in survival of the fittest times like we lived 8,000 years ago in a jungle, and people die from not having, and we actually live in modern times that are trying to become civilized by making sure people have the bare minimum. And that doesn't mean I'm for UBI. I'm explaining it that way. I like UBI. I won't say I'm for it. I'm against money as a concept completely. But when you have a society of people with guns, knives, butter knives, buckets, and whatever they want to murder each other with, it's a bad idea to have people becoming psychopathic because they don't have their bare basic needs. There's a direct relationship to jobs and crime. If you don't have jobs, you're going to have more crime. That's just a guarantee. You have more crime, you're going to have more police. They're going to have more tanks. They're going to have bigger guns, and they're going to murder more people. It's how it works. If you don't take care of the least, you're always going to have negative externalities from the model that's apathetic and doesn't care about people on the bottom. I won't say I'm for UBI. I don't believe the monetary system should exist. I don't think we need to hold it up. But right now, until we have a better model, you need to make sure people have what they need. And no, it does not come out of taxes to explain it. It comes out of corporations, right? The big murdery bastards that are murdering people all over the planet, the murdery bastards that own the Democrats and the Republicans and political parties and the systems that write the law to take away your rights. Yes, taking pennies out of their profit to make sure that the people in the nation they're destroying, the people in the nation that you're sending naval vessels to the outskirts of Iran to sacrifice them, to get us into a war, to murder other people because you want to steal something from Iran, taking pennies from them and making sure kids in the trailer park got food so they don't join the white nationalists and skinheads, so they don't see a world of hate and become hate as they're supposed to see, right? When you have a whole nation of adults where half of them are so apathetic they don't give a damn about the kids in the ghettos and the barrios and the trailer parks, that they would show them a world of hate, then those kids are going to think hate is the model, right? This is survival of the fittest, and we need less kids being raised in survival of the fittest, uncivilized, psychopathic nation. So I like universal basic income. I'm not behind it. I think it is a stopgap solution in stopping the next generation, the next kids coming down the line from becoming psychopathic and joining the Bloods and the Crips and MS-13 and the white nationalists, because you're starving them because you're apathetic and you got a warm bed to sleep in at night, and these children don't.
To be able to do something, they need to have meaning in their time and what they do. Just to give people money is not going to make people happy.
Yeah, I think it's a Band-Aid. Yeah, I think it's a Band-Aid. I agree with the concept that Yang proposes about UBI, but yeah, I think that if we give people like healthcare and have their basic needs met, then that it's going to give them the ability and to maneuver to find their passion and to be able to have that space where they can fulfill their lives.
Yes, and I think there's a way to do both. There's a way to find meaning and have your needs kept. I mean, the idea is that
extremists, when I'm just trying...
And I kind of disagree with all that. I gotta keep moving. Human beings aren't lazy, people. Human beings are creative. We're constantly looking for meaning out of life. We're constantly looking to do new things. No, you don't have to have a job. That's stupid. That's a slavery mindset. You're not a slave to corporations and banks. You don't have to pay people back because you're born in their nation. You don't have to utilize currency systems because billionaires named Rothschilds like to make money. That's stupid. Human beings are born, they should be like a fly or a rat, a muskrat, a turtle, a worm, to be able to go in their world and do what they want, as long as it's peaceful. People don't need to have jobs. That's stupid. All right, so it's a stopgap solution, but people aren't lacking creativity. People are creative all the damn time. We like to take bottle caps and we like to take mushrooms and just make coffee. Don't do that. Don't make coffee. Mushrooms and you're not supposed to make fungus coffee. I know. I'm just saying that human beings are creative creatures. Those are two things we're good at. We're great at love and we're good at creativity. We're never going to stop that. You don't need to force them under threat of sending a man with a gun to their door or prison if they can't pay their taxes to actually make them creative. That's stupid. That's a violation like we talked about. We need a society that doesn't violate people's sovereignty. We need a society that doesn't take people's free will. So it's a stopgap solution, but this is my point. I'm not against anything that walks us in the right direction. Because I come from the robotics automation world, I know we can change the system overnight. I know that we already have the software and the robotics to feed everybody, and we can literally do it overnight. But a lot of people don't believe that. They think that we got to take baby steps and slow changes. Never deny somebody who wants to walk us in the right direction. Unless they're taking money from the military-industrial complex, killing people, then I'm supposed to deny them because I'm not for it. I don't like the idea of killing children. I don't want your universal basic income if you're murdering people for it. But I, however, do want to make sure that the poorest people who need help right now, there are kids starving in America right at this moment who need that. And I will not use my privilege and weigh it over poor white kids in the trailer park. I will not take my black programmer, Washington, D.C. area, went to college privilege over kids in the ghetto in the Bay Area who literally need food right now. I got a cup of coffee right now and I'm drinking it, and I'm not going to use this privilege over them. We need to change the model, but we got to stop the bleeding. Right now, we're bleeding out. We got to focus on that. We got ships around Iran. We got $3 billion going to Israel, and we're bleeding out right now. The youngest in our country are in trouble. We need to help them now. This is why I'm not into politics. All right, let's keep moving. 57, somebody's talking about taxing Wall Street or something. I don't know what that is.
Trying to give people basic economic rights and trying to propose jobs alone. You do not have to pay.
What do you mean by Wall Street gambling?
And Bernie laid it all out. I just read this morning on the way here, so I don't know the full proposal, but Wall Street just makes, billions of dollars. I don't know how often, but just like betting on these trading and shit. Like Wall Street just makes so much money, and if we just taxed Wall Street, or like you're talking about taxing these defense contractors, or actually trying to change the laws to not have these corporations hide billions of dollars offshore in tax havens.
All right, temporary solution, I kind of like it. Long-term solution, right? Like, I don't believe in training police. It might help for the moment. We need to be building a society where we don't need police, so we need to get rid of the laws. Same thing with Wall Street. Tax Wall Street, as long as you're helping out the people who can't raise their kids and they're becoming psychopathic, as long as we're helping out the weakest, I'm all for it. But the model can't change. We want a world where we don't need police. We want a world where we don't need military. We want a world where we don't need Wall Street. Wall Street provides nothing. They are a useless group that are psychopathic, billionaire killers, apathetic slavers, and they've always have been, going back to the East End Trading Company. The whole thing needs to go away. We don't need to tax them. They need to go the hell away. But there are people who need help. So if that's a plan you can roll out tomorrow, roll it out. Unfortunately, a lot of these plans, when they come from these Bernie Sanders, these Kamalas, Trumps, and Obamas, they didn't check with the Rothschilds first. Once again, refer to the permission slip before you vote for somebody. If the Rothschilds and Rockefellers didn't sign off on it, and they're going to buy 99% of all the other politicians, or just 51.2%, the bill won't pass, and they'll shut it down. So it doesn't matter what they promise you for a campaign. Doesn't matter. If the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are the ones keeping everybody in conflict, building the smart cities, rolling out the 5G, fueling the genocide and the sanctioned wars, if they haven't decided it's a good idea to help the dumb monkeys and they're going to go for the Monkey Project, it's not going to happen. Big money runs politics, not your gestures and not your politicians. It's just money, which is why they murdered Martin Luther King. The elite black and white people, they all got together and killed the guy. Why? Because he was trying to help poor people. That is not allowed. Hashtag not allowed in psychopathic world. And the same reason we're destroying Venezuela. It is not allowed to help poor people. All right, let's keep moving. I gotta go faster. I got one more page of notes. 5950, they talked about smoking weed before 25. Uh-oh, is Daniel here? Oh, Lord, I get in trouble. I'm not gonna touch that. I get in trouble with that. I was already in trouble with Daniel. I ain't getting in trouble. You're not supposed to smoke weed before 26. Well, they said 25, but I think it's 26. 26, that's when your frontal lobe is developed. If you smoke a whole bunch of weed before, let's be honest. If you're smoking like rarely, then it's not a big deal. But if you smoke a lot, it makes you stupid. I'm sorry, it does, people. When the neurons are getting together, I know I said it the other way a year ago. Go with the modern research, right? When you are under 26 and those dendrite connections are set up and the neurons are happening, your frontal lobe's getting created, and please, one of the neuroscientists correct all this wrong crap I'm saying, but this is the layman's explanation. When that stuff is getting developed, if you have too much glyphosate, if you have too much Tylenol, if you have too much metals from vaccine, if you have too much anything, too much weed in your system, you have too much, probably some damn milk and pus and blood and cow milk, it's gonna cause a problem. Everything's supposed to be in balance. So cheering these kids to smoke a whole ton of weed before they're 26 is a really bad idea. And it's alcohol too. When I was in college, and are my kids watching this? They better not be watching. I didn't drink nothing in college. I'm making this part up, kids. Y'all don't drink. When I was in college, I literally watched a friend of mine go dumb. He was just drinking. It was kind of a party college, kind of, sort of, a little bit. And I was with him. I was drinking. I had my Colt 45. I had what was I was drinking? Southern Comfort and Thunderbird. I was drinking all this poor people crap. This crap that just makes you dumb, kills brain cells when they need to be developing. And I would go to programming class and I'd sit down and I started forgetting things. I was like, what the hell? I know the syntax, and I couldn't figure it out, and I was just realized, like, damn, I'm partying too much. Like, I don't understand it, but I realized I was getting stupider. I was starting to forget things that I was nailing back when I was 10 years old. I started writing software when I was 7, and so I had to stop. So before 26, you're not supposed to smoke all of that weed, but I'll let y'all debate about that. I'm not against any of it. I'm not saying it should be illegal. What I'm saying is, as a parent and an adults in this society, we need to make a society that uses what we know with modern research to make things better for the kids. How about that? There you go. So it's not about laws and sending men with guns to stop them. That's stupid. It's a violation. It's violence. Only ignorant people cheer stuff like that. But if we know that this is going to adversely affect their life way down the road, then we need to be honest with you. You can toot a little bit on Friday or something, but you can't toot Friday, Monday. You can't do the Cheech and Chong thing. Cheech and Chong, he was an old man. He was an old man. He can, his frontal lobe's already together. So anyway, that was interesting. Somewhere around an hour, 1 minute, 50 seconds, they were talking about suicide. I don't know the statistic, you tell me if it's true, but they're saying suicide in the United States is going up and suicide pretty much everywhere else is going down. There is a hint that you have failed. There's a hint that the whole world is evolving and you're not. Why? Because you got a left and a right and they're ignorant and they're fighting each other so they don't actually control their government. It means that you are being starved. You live in an artificially scarce nation, planned obsolescence, not even the troops want to live because the troops are killing themselves at over 22 a day. That's a hint that you might want to consider not voting. That's a hint that you might want to consider that you are actually being occupied. Occupied. Here's another example. So when you send armed men to another nation and they control the population, what is that called? Invasion. Occupation. The people there, they don't like your morals and your ethics. They don't like your international laws. They have no interest in you telling them how to live. That's an occupation. What is it when you send people from a middle-class community to a poor community with guns and badges in large numbers to control the population? That's not called public service. That's not called serving the public. That is not. Those people there, they don't even vote. You haven't been to a poor neighborhood, they don't vote. They don't care. They're trying to struggle to survive. They got to work 3 jobs in a trailer park in a ghetto. They can barely raise the kids. But when you send armed men from your upper class, your middle class, sedity neighborhoods with guns and tasers and cuffs and MRAP tanks, it's an occupation. It's an occupation. You're literally occupying the poorest people in the poorest community. At the national level, it's an invasion and occupation. It is not at the local level, because those people have no interest in your rules and laws, because they're crony, they're unconstitutional, and they violate the Bill of Rights. Stop occupying poor neighborhoods. We need a system and a model that works, and you need to look at the litmus test. If more people commit suicide than the rest of the world, and your numbers are going up and their numbers are going down, if more people are being shot by your police and that number's going up, and more police are the good ones are leaving the police force, there's a hint that you fail. Democrats and Republicans, you fail. You people might want to stop supporting this nonsense. Let me see, 102, what is this? 102, Joe Rogan. Oh, yeah, 102. This is how sometimes we'll say stuff, we contradict ourselves, but at 102, he had an important comment that I think that it alleviates this whole idea of jobs. Hold on.
Fear when you have more money at a certain point.
Right, yeah. I 100% am in agreement with that. Doing something you love is what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Having good friends and having family and people that you love, that makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Doing things that you find rewarding, and helping people, that's the weird one. Like, helping people makes people happy. And it's so counter to, like, people are like, yeah, you got to look out for yourself. You got to take care of business.
Right.
It turns out, no.
Yeah.
No. Looking out for other people is, like, super rewarding. Like, it's a selfish thing to be generous and kind.
It is. And it's super rewarding. That's why you get a dopamine hit, because when you help people, it makes you feel good. When you fight and argue with them in comment sections like a fool, it makes you feel bad. When you shoot them, it makes you feel bad. Unless you're a psychopath, then it makes you feel good. But doing things for people makes you feel good. And this is why when people are just born and they're allowed to have the freedom of a cockroach or a mouse, that civilization is going to be an amazing civilization. They're going to be amazingly creative. Why? Because we get dopamine hits when we literally help people. That's why people won't become shiftless and stupid if they don't have jobs and you don't force them to make things. They're going to make things because you feel good when you help people. That's why we need a society. We need to free the human race from being forced into labor like a slave plantation, because people are already motivated to be a collective and help each other. People say the apocalypse will come and people don't have jobs. No, it won't. We are walking towards annihilation. If we don't change the model and free people so that they can do the things that make them happy, so they don't have to take drugs, and 60% of the nation's women are on psychoactive drugs or drugs for depression. You know how crazy that is? That's how you failed as a society. Those women want to be happy. Let them help people. They don't need to be forced labor slaves for Goldman and Sachs. Besides the fact you never treated women right to begin with. Never. I don't even know a society. Somebody raise your hand and tell me, is there a society out there that respects women? Please tell me. Please tell me. Somebody. Is there one? No. Never. We've never seen women as an equal, ever. We need a complete model change. What about reparations for women? We don't like to think about that, do we? No, that's touchy, man. See, right there, I ain't got you. You talking about reparations for yourself, because that's you. You think that you are what the Rothschilds and Rockefellers told you are. But when you start talking about real reparations to groups who've really been destroyed, that's what I'm saying. Everybody needs reparations, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying everybody does. Everybody has been through some hell except for 0.01%. Let's not debate over who had the worst hell. Everybody in Rothschild world has been through hell. All right. 109, they're talking about Assange, but I'm running out of time. I got to go faster. 109, they talk about Assange. Once again, Assange is the greatest hero of the day. There you can put together all the American politicians, and none of them ain't never done anywhere near good as that one man did in 5 years with WikiLeaks. Period. We need a world with no secrets, no corporations, nothing that's not indigenous to the planet should have secrets. That's corporations and government. Anytime they have secrets, they're there to control you. Let me see. 119, what is that? They talk about Venezuela, and that's that statistic. 40,000 people killed by sanctions, and 119, that was delicious. I need to go a little faster. I forgot where he talked about. Somewhere in here he talked about Drone strikes, right? How we leave 98% of the people alive and 98% of the people who die in drone strikes. I think the statistics weren't the intended targets. So we're killing all of these people. Is that making the world love us or hate us? Like, we are literally motivating people to murder people from the West. We are literally, like, do you think that these moms and dads and uncles and babysitters and friends are all just like, yeah, oh, it's okay, America just sent another drone and murdered our relatives and our neighbors? Do you actually think in the future they're gonna be like, oh, it's okay, America, we forgive you? No. That's what I'm saying. You know, people like, they like to put America, like, you ever see that? Where people put an A-M-E-R-I, I can't spell it, K-K-K-A, like America, you don't need to put that, because America by itself, the name is already the most evil thing on the planet. We've already destroyed that ship itself. The KKK are nice and friendly and loving people. They haven't murdered anywhere near. The Democrats, KKK, because you know they created it, by the way. They haven't murdered nearly as many people as America did probably since I started this broadcast, all right? So you don't have to put KKK to make people think America's bad. America's hated already around the world by most people because we're stupid and we murder people. We thou shalt murder as a model. And on the money we put in God we trust. This is why people hate Christians. Not because of Christ. They hate Christ because of you. They hate Christ because you don't believe anything that Christ actually took. We were talking about abortion this weekend. I'm not even gonna go there. All right, 137.50. Well, I have to go there. Real simple. God gave everybody free will. Now you tell me all the people who shouldn't have free will. God gave everybody free will. God gave everybody free will. You dedicated your life to Christ. Christ didn't do nothing about abortion. Damn sure didn't go to no Caesar and ask for no law to force people that his father gave free will to. Now, tell me everybody that you should defy God and take free will from because you don't like what they do inside their skin. All right, think about it. Think about it. You better think about it. Don't let Old Testament God come back. He was pretty moody. He was pretty moody. All I'm saying, that whole defy God, that thing that didn't work out too well. Did not work out too well at all. Turned into pillars of salt and stuff. No. Plagues and frogs and pestilence. Yeah, he was a moody dude. But you know what? I think when you look back, I think there's a difference between big G God and little G God. Don't be confused. Just because your pastor in King James told you it's the word of God, you need to be careful. Big G God love everybody. And Big G God would never say fear him because dads don't talk that way. Fathers don't say fear me. Like I was raised in church. I'm taking a side path here. I have to because the nation that's bombing and murdering the whole world that defies the 10 Commandments at every turn has on their money in God they trust. All right, and it's not even money, by the way. It's just Federal Reserve notes, y'all. It actually doesn't mean anything. It's useless. It's completely 100% useless. But outside the IOUs that we call money, they put in God we trust right on the side of it. And my understanding is, I don't even understand it. There's nothing about God America trusts at all. All right, let's be clear and let's be honest. You want to say you're Christian, you want to represent this man, this guy called Christ, and you need to live like it. And that Christ thing respected everybody's free will within their own skin. All right, doesn't sound nice, and it's not what your pastor and minister is saying. Tag them. Send them the video. We can talk about it all you like. All right, that's what I'm saying. Everybody needs to study scripture so you can find the hypocrites. They're everywhere. And they're not bad people. They're good people and they love, but same reason I don't like the same reason booby milk is good out of nipples and it's bad in cakes. But teat milk is delicious in bottles and in cookies. That same reason. We're all brainwashed. We're all being controlled. Look for your indoctrination. Filter it out so we can free the planet. And that's why I love the model of free will and leave everybody alone. What else we got? Let me get out of here. Let me finish this last. I got 3 more things on my notes, and then we'll do some comments, and then I'm gonna run. Right. Okay. All right. 137.50. How the algorithms are designed to piss you off. Right. So they're showing you things. But this is off election, like social media. Like, how does media make money? They make money when you're pissed. They don't make money when you're calm. When you're calm, you go plant some lettuce seeds or whatever, and you're happy. Looking at people's kids and the bunnies and the kittens. Yay! They don't make money. They make money when they piss you off. So the algorithm's designed to show you things that make you angry at certain times, and other times it's designed to not. Right? Because if they piss you off and get you in conflict with other people, they'll get you out to the polls to vote and keeping the model for the world, not changing anything. Off elections, I think they shift the algorithms and just show you things that make you pod people. Make you agree and show you things from people who are like you, who are born where you are, who look like you do. They fit your Rothschild, Rockefeller, religion, or race. And they make pod people out of you. So I think it's on elections when they need you to vote and be stupid, and then off elections they switch the algorithm, which is why they shouldn't have all that big data. 155 to the end, you should just watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna show up, but 155 to the end, you should just watch the whole thing. Just truth bombing about kids hiding in trash cans while Israel snipers are trying to snipe them and they can't get them. Children hiding in the dark from grown people with assault rifles, where your taxes paid for the dollar and the rifle while we're sleeping happily in beds, comfy at night. Oh, Abby Martin, she laid it out. 206. We talked about the oils for war and how people still believe these wars are for oil. Or let me say it better yet, that they're for energy. From the same government that's hiding 5,000 energy patents, and you see UFOs, free energy devices flying all over the world. Focus on the free energy. The wars are not for oil. The wars are because they make you emotional and you think they're for oil. The wars are simply for getting people killed. I think depopulating a lot of the lower level non-Rothschild Rockefellers making money. They still make money from oil, but it's never really about that. We don't actually have to do that. I am going to skip to 2 hours and 13 minutes in. They talked about Omar, which a lot of people talking about Omar. Let's go in there 2 minutes and 13 because I don't agree with everybody and I don't agree with Abby and her points about Omar. I'll see if we can jump over here real quick.
You're about to get spammed with a lot of Hasbro.
No, they don't have my real email. It's okay.
But that's what we can do, Joe. Change things, and that we're going to correct this horrible path that we're on.
Do you think that the 2020 elections can have a real significant impact of any of this? Do you think that whoever gets into office can really have an effect on the kind of policies that we're talking about, with the kind of influence of the military-industrial complex, of all these lobbyists, of Wall Street, of all these like monstrous machines that just pure, good old-fashioned democracy can actually step in and turn this ship away from the rocks?
Bernie, I really do think that he's one of our last chances, not because I think that he's going to completely do some revolutionary upheaval from the top down. As we know, Congress is stacked with a lot of terrible people who will block a lot of these efforts, but I think that he's going to mobilize the masses and reinvigorate the labor movement and reinvigorate unions and help workers understand that they need to fight for these rights that have been eviscerated, over the last 100 years. One thing that does inspire me as well is seeing people like Ilhan Omar. She is incredible. She's a Somali refugee. She advocates BDS against Israel, and she does not fucking back down. I love that woman. What an incredible woman. She got viciously attacked for retweeting one of my episodes from Empire Files, and I think it just shows how scared people are of her and her ideas. And you saw how hard everyone came down on her for just saying that Israel has an influential lobby in D.C.
Yeah, well, she's also wearing religious garb, so people are scared of that.
Right.
And then she backed down. This is my point. No, she backed down because she ain't stupid. Omar ain't dumb. Omar knows what's going on. She knows what time it is. But again, she works with oligarchs who will murder her. If they will murder a president, you think they won't murder Omar? Oh no, that's why she backed down. She said what she did and she backs down all the time, every single time, because she's not stupid. The very few people you have in government that actually know what's going on, they aren't dumb. They know the American people aren't behind it. The American people are still tribal. They're still fighting over race. They're still fighting over dumb things while the world's being annihilated, every species. So no, it's not a time for leaders. I'm gonna do comments. It's not a time for leaders. Leaders is not a time for leaders. Leaders have led us here. Okay? Don't go to the problem for the solution. There's a hint. Don't go to the people who are paid to make the problem to have a solution. No, I don't think the 2020, I think Martin Luther King was on it. We need some sort of constitutional convention and fight at the state levels, or we need to let the whole thing collapse. But stop focusing on presidents. They don't matter. They don't matter. I'm sorry, that's my belief. That if you believe, you do your thing. This is my belief, All right, let me go back to comments. We'll get out of here. Ever read about Dole? Eileen, you talking about Dole, the Chiquita banana, U.S. fruit? They're murdering people in Latin America. Looked at that a little bit. And everybody should. It's important to know that corporations can't have secrets. When they do, they will go murder people for banana fields. It's just a reality. And they still sell bananas in your store, grocery stores right now, right? You go to the grocery store right now and buy some Chiquita bananas, and they murdered thousands of people in Latin America. I think it was Colombia. Let me see. So why would they care about Middle Eastern kids? Exactly, Brenda. They don't. They don't care about themselves. Like the people who can genocide 100,000 people, the people in these political parties, they don't care about anything. That's why they murder how they do. They completely have no interest whatsoever in human life. These are cold-blooded killers. Let's focus on that. Definitely focus on that. Don't be fooled by it at all. Barrios, what is that? What is Barrios, not Barrios? I don't know what that is, Courtney. If we give them, we earned it, stop stealing it. If we give them, we earned it, stop stealing it. Brenda, you know what? This is a problem with kind of going back in comments. I don't know, we're watching, but let me keep going. I don't pick and choose the comments, I just read down them. And I try to skip and pick them randomly, unless I see you share. I do appreciate people who share. When you share, I know that you care, and I will try to focus on your comments a little more. How about giving us health care if our choice, I could find plenty to do and feel value. So Nora, my stance on health care is don't let people die. That's always been my stance. I don't believe in universal health care. I don't believe in big corporations who are poisoning people and keeping them alive, not letting them die, not curing anything. I don't believe in that industry. I don't believe in that greed. I think that you teach people what health is, you teach them how to eat, you give them seeds and land and let them be healthy, and you drop healthcare costs to almost nothing, because it should be nothing. I'm not for universal healthcare models supporting people who are, big corporations that are murdering people. We need to talk about what health actually is before we talk about healthcare. But in the meantime, don't let people die. In the meantime, don't let people die. It's a human concept that we need to respect in the meantime. Ottawa did UBI for 3 years and people still worked. Choose better education, had more time, and good point. Had more time to do what made them happy. Right, Sharon, and do happy people kill people? Do happy people climb on clock towers and shoot people? Do happy people go to schools and shoot kids? Do happy people run for politics? No. So it's not even that UBI actually will stop people from working, but as long as people on the bottom don't have to die and become very desperate, it's a good idea. And that's a good example. Thank you for that. None of it's real. It's all theater. Yes, Kathy, it always is theater. Anything to kind of keep people going, to get people cheering the system and voting and fighting with each other, they'll keep doing. It's all theater. None of those Democratic candidates talked about ending the Fed and abolishing the IRS. and that's what needs to happen. Right, Kathy, as long as you got a Federal Reserve, they print the money, nothing in politics will happen without their blessing. That's why I say, if your political party and your pundit and their ideas weren't signed off by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, the people who run those central banks, it's a pointless conversation. I don't want to talk about things you don't have the power to do. It's like somebody coming to me, who said that? Kathy? It's like somebody coming to say, you know what? I'm going to fly to Starbucks and get you coffee. Well, you give me $5 and I'll fly to... I'm like, wait a minute. Do you have a cake? Do you have some wings? If you don't look like Thor with a hammer, you can fly through the air to get me some coffee, $5, then first of all, you shouldn't be going to Starbucks anyway. But if you don't have the ability to do what you say you're going to do, then I ain't giving you $5. I ain't giving you 5 minutes. I ain't giving you any of my time, and I damn sure ain't going down to no poll to vote for you. You don't have a cape. And the Rockefellers literally control the gravity. Wasn't it the Rockefellers behind the oil company? Somebody remind me. U.S. Oil. Gravity is going to stop you from flying, Bernie and Kamala and Trump and everybody else. You're not going to fly and get nobody nothing. They own the gravity. Gravity enslaves the human race. And you need the oil to do it. Banana boat diplomacy. Amen, brother Adam. In the 1950s, horrific killings. Yes, Adam. Go on, tell him about it. Go on back. He reads books. Y'all need to watch this Adam Pike guy. Welcome. Sanctions and murder. Yes, it is. Absolutely. You say you support Adam. Says I support you. Don't support me, Adam. No, don't support. What you need to do, Adam, do this. This is how we do this. Because we don't need leaders. I think, support me from a perspective of if I say something good, like it, do a little happy face thing. If I say something stupid, tell me it's stupid. If I say something incorrect, post a link. If I missay a name, that's how you support me. Support what's true. Let's say it that way. This is what we do here. Support what's true, don't support me. Because you know how it works with identity? Like, if you support me and people believe in me, then the CIA gonna come grab my dog, my cat, put a knife to his throat. They're gonna bribe me, whatever. Then I start lying like Noam Chomsky about the Fed. I might say 98% of the truthful things, but I lie about the rest. Y'all gonna get me killed if you support me. Don't support me in that way. If I say something true, support it. If anybody else says something true, ignore the identity, ignore people who are just saying foul things about them. Just support what's true, because we don't need any leaders. We don't need any leaders, and I don't want anybody to be confused. I don't want followers. I want people who will help to make me smart, who support truthful things. We got a whole world to fix, and this is a big pile of bones. A big pile of annihilation bones, because the buffalo didn't see it coming. We see it coming, and we can prevent it. So let's do that. All right, let's keep going. We don't need government. Government is slavery. Yes, Kathy, it is. We don't need government. It is a failed model all over this world. We don't need it. All we need is facilitatament. That's what I say. All we need is someone to help facilitate resources so everybody's okay. That's it. We don't need government. We don't need socialism. We don't need capitalism. We don't need communism. We don't need none of the isms. All the isms all failed, and they're all on TV. That's a hint. If it's on TV, then it's blessed by the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and the elite families that run the world. It means it won't work. We need a whole new model. Hope you drink organic coffee. Eileen, I'm not going to answer that question. Not going to answer the question. I know. I want it to be Eileen. I do. But I will say this, Eileen. I'm growing coffee. So I'm growing coffee trees. I'm going to make my own coffee one day. Right now, this is not... I like to say, Eileen, that I drink organic coffee on a regular basis. I don't even do that. I ain't going to lie. I'm not here to lie to you. I drink Major Dickerson's. I'm sorry. I love Major Dickerson. He makes some delicious coffee. I don't know who he is, but he just does a good job. It's delicious. And I don't want to promote it. I'm just saying it. But I drink it. You know why I drink it, Eileen? I drink it because I don't get sick. So whatever I'm doing between this and the smoothies and my deodorant, which looks like a lemon because it is, whatever I'm doing is working. I don't get sick. I don't get flus, viruses, colds, any of that stuff. If you don't get sick, then you can drink Major Dickerson's coffee with carcinogens and put carcinogen creamer in there. If you get sick, then know your immune system's trying to tell you that you need to change your behavior and what you put in your mouth and how you live your life. So I do. Not gonna lie about that. Hidden Pentagon trillions and CIA black ops take most of the money. That conserve the population instead. Right, Kate, that's the whole point. We can fix anything we want. We got the money. We print the damn money. We can take the money and make garden drones that feed people, and so they don't have to go to work, so they're happy, so they don't become murderous bastards. We can do it any day we want. And we're not doing it. They got the money and they're killing people. Stocks and shares, another crime in our faces. They should not be permitted on a long-term basis, part of the ownership betting game, and still leads to the man, doesn't it? Yes, Debbie, it absolutely does. No, stocks and shares, none of that should exist. That's all financial crap, right? And financial crap literally doesn't do anything for society. It doesn't, except for one thing. I'll be honest, one thing all that financial crap does help. I don't believe in monetary system. It feeds the people who work for them. And I'm not going to take that away. I'm anti-bank. I'm anti-stock market. I'm anti all of these insane non-biological things because they're systems and they control us. However, we do have people who work in financial sectors and they have children. Their children need to eat too. All of that stuff needs to go away, but we need a model to free everybody. Free everybody. All right. Let me see. Martin Luther King. I missed it. Oh, somebody's talking about Martin Luther King. That caught my eye. I was at Kate again. Martin Luther King wanted no War II. Then they finally drew the line there and killed him. Right. Because all the black people in the civil rights movement, they were getting big money from Lyndon Johnson. And Lyndon Johnson had a war going, right? This is how it works. People will sell you out. They don't ever ally with anybody because of their skin color, where they were born, their race or color, religion. People will sell you out in a minute. Everybody's got their price tag. They sold Martin Luther King out. They sold him out because they want that big Lyndon Johnson money. And then some of the people involved in it, I'm pretty sure they were in the black elite. They are big parts of the Democratic Party. All right, but right, Martin Luther King, he stood up for everybody. You know you're on it when they come for you. He was on it. He stood up for the poor in Vietnam. He stood up for the poor whites. He stood up for the poor blacks, and you're not allowed to do that. You can stand up for the poor, whatever you decide in your tribal group. You cannot stand up for the poor of everybody. Anytime you start to stand up and act like you're sentient and saying things like you love babies and children, oh, hell no, they will murder you. They need the conflict. Conflict is how they make money. You need to be a bigot and you need to be apathetic and proud of it. Proud of it. You know, as long as you're that, then you fit within the world conflict model. Survival of the weakest and let the weakest die. If you don't, you want to help everybody and you become popular, you get killed. That's why I understand Omar backing down. That's why Trump is not helping to make America great. That's why Obama would not clean up Washington. That's why Bernie is not going to take on the billionaires, let alone the Democrats. He's scared of the Democrats. How the hell are you going to take on the billionaires that murder president? Come on, man, stop it. These people genocide 100,000 people. Our problems are us. It's in the mirror. We still believe these people. We still support these people. But once again, if you believe that, then you go do that. I'm not supporting death and murder no more. Truth, young people are abusing the stuff. Yo, Daniel, go on, Daniel. Y'all see Daniel said that, Daniel. I'm sorry, every time I see Daniel, I just like a puff of cloud. Every time I see him, I see the fake Jesus. Not because, goodness, I'm gonna get in trouble. But the guy that they put in the pictures, the king's nephew, that everybody thinks is Jesus, and that kind of looked like Daniel a little bit. But every time I see Daniel, I see a puff of smoke. But he's saying the truthful thing. That's why I appreciate Brother Daniel. He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. The young kids, we need to protect them. They're not even human yet. Don't let anything destroy their brains because you want to legalize it. You need to be honest. People like honest people. They back integrity. The more we're honest and in the middle, the sooner we can fix things. All right, let's go down. Maybe some of it was loaded with pesticides and chemicals, fertilizers, and bad water. Same as the alcohol. Oh, go on, Kim. You're right about that. I ain't gonna lie about you. Right about that. It's just like the milk. Milk is a carcinogen. It's got the casein in it. We know that's a carcinogen. However, a lot of it also is about how they poison the cows. Cannabis. They grow cannabis still with some of the most dangerous pesticides on the planet still because they grow it in closets. They're used to growing it in rooms, and plants aren't supposed to grow in closets and rooms. They're supposed to be outside in the ecosystem with all the bugs and be exposed to the full spectrum of the sun, but you can't tell people that. So yeah, it could have been a lot of the damages caused by the poisonous way they grow cannabis. Nature knows how to grow things, not cartels. It's just how it works. Not cartels run from the government, that the other cartels are paid for by the government because the CIA set up the drug routes out of Mena, Arkansas. Why people supported and love Clinton. Boy, they say he's the black president and he put more black people in prison than anybody. It's the funniest thing to live in today. And listen to the nonsense that comes out of people's mouths. 40,000 suicides per year. Stop, Christine, for real? That's crazy. And that's a hint. That's a hint. Is that just America or is that the world? If 40,000 people commit suicide on your planet or your country, you have failed. Whoever is running whatever is a sick bastard. Get rid of them. Whatever system's in place, delete all of it and keep none of it. If people would rather die than live in your world, that's a great hint. Please look at the suicide. Please stop voting for more. Please, please. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to ask you, please. Suicide increasing in the boomers and teens to age 34. And I understand, Kate, because they're born slaves. They're literally born slaves. They're born into debt. And why would young people want to stay here and look at their parents like, oh, I'm going to become that? Oh, hell no. I'm going to work for my entire life and slave for these billionaires and get 2 weeks of vacation and some health care? Hell no. Take me out now. I want to go to the next level and find out what. So I believe it. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. I mean, look what we're doing to these kids. They're not born free. Who wants to live on a slave plantation, right? Only the slaves that love slavery. Mind-altering drugs have a sacred place, as in rites of passage. Rites of passage are completely ignored. Everyday use, not a good thing. Something is wrong. Heck, there's a whole lot wrong. Hell yeah, Rebecca. You know, and so, but we use those things in moderation in the past. Now we get ignorant about them, like abortion. You know, like I said, I don't choose sides on it, but we get ignorant about it because we fight, and that's how they make money. They make you ignorant on one side. You say ridiculous things, it makes the other side more ridiculous. Polarization. You know, you want to free cannabis and legalize it. I'm with you, but if you get too ignorant extreme with it, then you make the people more ignorant extreme on the other side. They forget the fact that Jesus was eating herbs. Yeah, Jesus was eating them herbs, man. He was eating the herbs. Yeah, all right. This is why you got Daniel. All right, let's go now. Let me get some last couple comments. I got to get out of here. Egalitarian society in Native American culture, women and men were equally respected, and women headed the community. Go on, Kate. And that's why we killed them, probably. That's why they were too peaceful. They were too peaceful. They were like getting along a lot better than we do. And so, of course, I always say we, if you're black and you're in America and you have ancestry back to slavery, and I do on both sides, it means that you are not all African, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. It means, well, everybody's Africans. All life started in Northern Africa, not like Southern Africa, but Northern Africa. All life started there. We're all related. We're all family. But the point is that you got a lot of us I got Cherokee in there. You got some Irish in there. Got some British in there. You got a whole bunch of stuff in there because slaves were playthings. Slaves were the same thing that women are in the nations that you funnel weapons to. You're politicians that are helping you. Why? Because they funnel guns and weapons, destabilizing nations. They get paid to do it. And so while women live as slaves and are raped every day by young people that they drug to get them to do it, the warlords, they can send cheap minerals to America so you can have your health care, so you can have your basic income, so you can have all the things without actually seeing how they're paid for. So absolutely, Kate, and we have to look back at those societies and start to reincorporate the positive, the safe, the evolving concepts, the socially mature, the things that work, and start getting rid of all of this crap that doesn't. All right, let me see. I gotta go down, because I gotta pee, I gotta go, y'all. Save Assange. Yes, Eileen, yes, Eileen, save Assange. He is the only real anti-war voice of the day. We must preserve the right to publish research information. Yes, Christine, they're shutting that down. In fact, very soon here on Facebook, I posted that yesterday. They're not gonna let you talk about vaccine, anything. There will be no vaccine debate. They made it very clear. We will shut you down. You will not say anything negative about vaccines. They don't want discourse. They're done with it. They're done with you saying no to it. Now you got to figure out why, because you're not going to be allowed to say it on here. Voting is, Kathy said voting is a suggestion box for slaves. Is that on the screen? Yes, it is, Kathy. It is a suggestion box for slaves. That's what I'm saying. I'm not interested in suggesting anything. Not when you're murdering people. Not when you're killing kids all over this planet. Hell no. When you got kids hiding in trash cans from grown adults with high-powered assault rifles made in America in West Bank. No, not me. I have no suggestions. I have no suggestions for psychopathic killers and slavers. None. Nope. No, I have no suggestion and no voting, but you're not going to get me in no damn voting booth ever again until we have a system that's not based in murder. Make a system that's not based in murder. Develop a system that actually wants to change one thing in any poor community anywhere for any of our brothers and sisters being starved, not just selectively. All right, then you might get me. Until then, you're not going to get me. I have no time for it at all. Let me see. They need free will, but need to see the truth of the world to make informed decisions. Right, Kim? And that's the whole point. Everybody needs free will, but they need exposure to the truth. So I love direct democracy, but we need it with a dose of free media. As long as the media is lying to people and people get pulled into these tribalistic, pod people-like communities, then direct democracy can be just as dangerous, close to being, as the current government we have now. But we got to make progressions in the right direction. When you get them on the stage talking direct democracy, you might actually get my ear. But they're not talking about giving me power back over my country. They're talking about continuing to give that power to corporations enslaving me. And I don't like none of that. Stay-at-home moms collect Social Security at 1/2 of the rate of what their husbands get. Wow, really, Sharon? Why so many older women now live in poverty? See, this is what I'm saying, Sharon. Stuff like that people don't know. I didn't know that. I mean, I know we're a sick patriarchal society and we don't view women as equal. I know that's a fact. But that's just crazy. And these are the politicians that people are voting for. This is what they want to keep going. Brother Ron smoked pot in 69 and 70 and ceased in 71. Well, I used to drink, Ron. I used to drink in 72. I think I stopped in 93, somewhere around there. It was just like, you know what? My life is not going that direction. And I don't drink anything today. Very rarely. Very rarely. I love life. You know, so why would I? And it doesn't mean if you drink, you don't love life. It's just like I love life like clear. I don't need an artificial high. I surround myself with positive things and positive people, having positive discussions, heading in positive directions. I don't let myself get surrounded by negativity and self-destructive people. That'll really destroy your life. Honey, the 10 Commandments is written in stone. Yes, Elizabeth, it was. So people couldn't change it. That's why they started that in India, if I believe right. They started writing on wood because people were changing the scriptures how they do today. They were changing the scriptures. So in India, they started writing on wood. I think it was like a Irish type thing because people were constantly changing the text. And they wrote that in stone for a reason. Thou shalt not murder, but boy, they can't see that today, can they? Let me see. Eileen says she's a recovering Catholic. Yeah, I'm a recovering Christian, but I believe in Christ. I believe in love and take care of people and don't hurt people. So I don't associate with the modern Christians because they're in defiance to Christ right now, and that's a really bad idea. All right, let me get down. Let me see. The meek will inherit the earth, so sit back and do nothing. Nope, Christine. Well, you're right. The meek will inherit the earth. I agree, and it's probably going to be like beetles and cockroaches and microbiology. Not us. We aren't meek. I'm all for let's stop supporting the system. Not do nothing, but stop supporting the system and be vocal about it. Oh, Patricia, I thought you said Bernie 2020. She said burn 2016. Yeah, if you were burned, don't go back. Yeah, I had a lot of brothers, Patricia, in college. They kept getting burned. They kept going back. It's like, hey, man, she's going to burn you again. She's going to burn again. I'm telling you, she's going to burn again. You kept going to the clinic like, all right, you're not getting it. Keep getting burned. Getting them Bernie TDs. Or them Trump TDs or the Democrat TDs. Like, no, they don't make penicillin sustainable, people. You know, like learn from your mistakes. I think we got to learn from our mistakes. Omar is, I think, Sunni. Oh, is she? Only an anti-Assad of Israel. Oh, Israel. No, Syria. Okay, she's Sunni, so she's one side of the Muslim thing. Only an anti-Assad. Oh, of Syria. Is she? Oh. Kate, I didn't know that. Now that's but you know what? It's not surprising. It shouldn't be surprising. Like that's how the world works. Everybody's got their popular bigotry, and so yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll have hers. Not only is she scared of the people she works around, and she should be, they're killers, you know, but she'll pick and choose. And we gotta stop picking and choosing. Gerard's pits are lemony. No, they're not. No, Rebecca, ain't no lemon. No, that's not how lemon deodorant works. It's not how, nope, it's not. It's antibacterial and it stops the stink, but it don't smell like lemons under there. I would not recommend that. I just don't want to put poison under my pits and smell like chemicals that smell like roses and get cancer in 20 years. That's all. You're drinking pesticide water, but if you enjoy it, okay. Yes, I am. Eileen, I'm absolutely. Everything I eat in my country, for the most part, has pesticides in it. Eileen, when I walk through the grass, I'm breathing pesticides in. You know, like for me, it's always it's always about health. You know, people ask, well, what is healthy? Healthy is what you are. Right? If you don't get sick, then you're doing some things right. Stick with it. You know, but if you're getting sick, then your body's trying to tell you got to change something. The human body can take a lot of abuse. I drink a lot of smoothies, and I believe I'm healthy. And imagine between the placebo effect, the natural things I eat, the food I grow, that my body has tolerance for those things right now. In a year, it may not. But I'm looking for organic coffee, so I'm not ignorant about it. Like Twinkies, I eat Twinkies very rarely. I eat them very rarely. The donuts, I eat them very rarely. You know, but I say trust your body and your makeup, your intellect, from the data you have and the placebo effect being real and your mind functioning over the matter in your body, keeping you healthy in the food that you eat. And if you got a working formula, go with it. If you don't, then make some changes. Let me see. People need to drop this religion called government. Ooh, go on, Kathy. It is a religion, isn't it? It is. It's definitely faith-based. Boy, they keep going back, Kathy, don't they? The minister keep popping out babies with the choir. That actually happened. The friend of mine was in the church down the street. He just popping babies out with the deaconesses. His name was Mary. And people just kept going back to church. They just kept putting Bernie in the ballot plate. They just kept putting Trump in. They just kept doing it. They didn't stop. They didn't realize, you know, eventually you're going to have a whole daggone church that looked like the pastor. It is a religion. I agree with you. Absolutely. All right, let me see. Yep, Assad is Alawiti. Okay, I guess that's a type of Islam, Kate, I guess. All politicians lose integrity. Goes with the territory. Right, Christine? Because that's the job, isn't it? The job is keep people emotional, keep them voting, so they're not acting intellectual, but they're emotional, and so acting on their emotions. The same reason they monitor all of this. But y'all should definitely watch. It's Joe Rogan Experience 1316, Abby Martin. Watch the whole thing. The whole thing was amazing. I was taking notes, and I'm only going through part of my notes. I don't have time to go through all of them. And tell me what you think. You know, this feed will be out here unless they delete it. Watch it, tell me what you think. But I thought it was a powerful message. I think they dropped a whole lot of truth bombs. Direct democracy is a choice for folks with a whole lot of faith in humanity. It is, Rebecca. You're right about that. Rebecca's not lying. I have a lot of faith in humanity. I think that when we leave people alone, they become phenomenal. I believe that they become a great thing. But I always preface that, because I agree with you. Direct democracy can be a horrible thing if we still have brainwashed people who think that cows' booby cakes, that milk that comes from cows and cakes and cookies and pies are okay, and milk that comes from humans are bad. As long as we have people like me who are still fighting with that brainwashing, you know, but hopefully you're trying to get rid of it, then direct democracy is very dangerous. But I think it's less dangerous than what we have today, where you have a single point of failure and all these politicians, wherever you got to pick and choose who they want their master to be. Everything to me is better than today. And we got to free people, give them back their free will, give them back free voices, break apart that Telecommunications Act, free the countries from central banking, and then free the people. And I think things will go the right way. I believe in humanity. And you know why I believe in humanity, Rebecca? That was Rebecca who said that. Yeah, the reason I do is because of what Rogan said earlier. He said what we say, right? You feel good when you do good things for people. It's because that's who we are. Right? You give somebody a gift and they're appreciative, you get that dopamine hit. And that's that biological evidence, that's that sign from God or whatever, you Mother Nature, Gaia, whatever, that we are good creatures. We're supposed to do good. But when you do bad things to people, it doesn't feel good. You feel bad about it, right? And that's why I believe in humanity, is because we get that endorphin hit. I mean, my goodness, like I said, you do something, you send somebody some money, and you don't really know how much they needed it, and they break down in tears, or they're like really oddly thankful you gave them 20 or 30 bucks. People hide a lot of pain. They hide a lot of pain. And you give somebody something good, and they literally are that appreciative, it makes you feel good because you know you solved something that you didn't understand, a problem that you didn't even know was there. And that's why I believe in humanity, because we are creatures that are based in love. We are fantastic at love, and we literally have an endorphin system that's designed to love and take care of each other. By default, little kids love each other and work together until we break them as adults and brainwash them into being fools. So yeah, I definitely believe in humanity. And we have to, or we don't make it. And that's what I think all this sovereignty and free will that God required in the religions that none of them follow. It's because the world goes the way it's supposed to when you respect and love each other and you have empathy for each other. That would be good brainwashing. Do good to people, right? And that's how it works, I think, Christine. If we let people do good to people, we let them be happy and live their own lives instead of making them like us, things go in the right direction. As long as we keep forcing them, things get worse and worse and worse. Maybe I'll ask you to help with Bernie's agenda after he's in office, after he fires the Fed. All right, Adam. So this is where I go with it. Like, I appreciate the ideas. I got to keep restarting the music. I appreciate the ideas. I think all those politicians with the good ideas are probably wanting to help. And if we can actually end the Federal Reserve, then we can start helping people. My take on Bernie, because he's not a socialist, right? What do they call him? He's a democratic socialist or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know what these things mean. As long as he wants to help people and we have a world and a model that allows him to, then yeah, I'll help him. I'll help anybody. As long as Trump wants to help people, not just line the pockets of billionaires or Obama, I'm behind anybody that wants to help people, right? I mean, Saul became Paul, right? And Saul murdered more Christians than anybody ever on this planet. And if Saul can change and become Paul and write the whole New Testament, explain it to people, they're supposed to just love people and leave them alone, then yeah, absolutely. Bernie, social democrat, okay, that's what it's called. And so it's not about the people, right? It's not about the identities and the names, because people change all the time. Evil people become good, good people become evil, people get brainwashed, people become, they're forced to do certain things, however we see it. The goal is make a world where we can help people first. That's the priority. Change the system, and then whoever wants to help people, we need to do anything we can to help people, because we're people. We're cousins. We're 7 billion cousins all over this planet. And we need a new system to allow the people who want to do some good to do the good. But as long as the people in power, real power, can murder the people who want to help, then we're not going to get anywhere. That's my take on it. Anyway, listen, appreciate it. Nice to meet you, brother Adam. Y'all have a great day. Gerard, love y'all. Gotta go. We are literally living in a time of annihilation. We need to do what the brother said in the robot movie with the monsters and everything. We don't want to see human skulls piled up like this, and we're not going to see it because we're going to be in the pile. And the kids going to be on top of us, the next generation in that pile, when the robots murder everybody. We need to counsel the apocalypse. What's that name of that movie? With Eldris Ibra. I forgot the name of the movie. Anyway, he gave a phenomenal speech, which I don't have that for you. And at the end of the speech, he just said, "Today we are going to cancel the apocalypse." And when I'm my real jacked up UK accent, we need to cancel the apocalypse, people. Let's cancel the apocalypse. All about love, being honest, integrity, giving people back their free will and acting like human beings, growing the hell up, finding some maturity, and empowering, if we want to keep the government thing, empowering the government to actually make its own decisions instead of going to a Federal Reserve begging for allowance to print the money for the projects they want to deploy on things they promised you. All right, that's a mouthful. Got it going. Stuart, y'all have a wonderful day. I'm out of here. Bye.